have you with us. And I'll tell you what, Derek, we're going to be hearing some more from you a little bit later. But we have another exciting young lady here, and her name is Cindy Birdsong. And Cindy used to be with Supremes. And Cindy, we're glad to have you at PTL with us today. Thank you. Cindy, as you were growing up as a little girl, I understand that you were the very youngest one in your church choir.
I sure was.
How old were you?
Oh, I think it was about maybe 15 when I first joined.
When you first joined
15
the
or
choir.
16, yeah.
And have you always sung? Have you sung since you were a tiny little girl?
First, I started in the bathtub.
In the bathtub?
Then I joined the youth choir, which, well, actually it was the young adult choir. And my mother was in that choir at our church, too, because they really didn't have a youth choir for the young people at that time. So they let me join. I was really happy about it because I wanted to sing in the choir.
And so, is that when you first realized that you had a good voice and that you could do something with your voice?
To tell you the truth, Tammy, I never really thought I had a good voice. Isn't that funny? All the years I was singing professionally with the Supremes, I really didn't have confidence to sing lead. You know, and in the 60s, you usually had one lead singer, and then the other girls were the doo-wah girls. I was a doo-wah girl.
You were a doo-wah girl.
For 17 years.
What part did you sing? Alto?
I sang first and second soprano.
First and second soprano.
Yeah.
But yet, here you were a young lady who really didn't have that much confidence. Whatever gave you whatever made you try out for the Supremes? Did they come to your town, or what happened?
I wanted to be an actress.
Yes.
And I felt that just getting the opportunity came to sing first.
Yes.
So I got in the door because I felt, well, this is show business. And that was the opportunity that was presented to me, so I took it.
How'd you get in the door?
Well, I went for an audition, but I belonged with another group before the Supremes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I went for an audition, and they picked me.
Is that? Were you excited?
I was really excited.
Did you go home screaming and yelling to your mother?
I sure did, all the
way. Was your mother a little worried about the fact that you were going into a business considered worldly?
Well, yeah, she was at the time because I was very young. I was just out of high school, but all the other girls were too. But we had chaperones. We had a husband and wife team that traveled everywhere with us, and they were like our mom and dad on the road. And they were very, very strict, even more strict than our own parents.
Did you serve the Lord while you were on the road, Cindy?
No, I didn't.
Is that right?
I forgot all about the Lord when I was on the road. Yeah.
Is that right?
I got so caught up in show business, and I loved it so much. I loved entertaining.
That you just kind of forgot about Jesus.
I really did.
You came to a point in your life where you thought you were going to commit suicide. Tell us about that. How did that happen? What led up to that?
Well, I had a long career with the Supremes, approximately 10 years with them. And when I left the group, I lost all my money within about a year's time.
Ooh.
And at the same time, I was going through a divorce. And so it just seemed like everything that I'd ever dreamed of was going just like that. And I felt very unloved because I felt that people in show business were fair weather friends. It's like people had always told me.
They loved you while you were on top, but when you were on the bottom, they didn't pay attention.
Forgot all about me. Nobody called me, and so I went into a deep, deep state of depression. I've heard you say many times about how bad that depression can be. Yes. Well, it's very true. And I thought many times of taking my life, and I think what God used was because He knew He had another plan for me, was the thought that if I take my life, who will raise my son, because I have a son. And he was just a toddler at the time. So that's sort of what kept me hanging on, but I really thought that...
you were just going to give it all up.
Right. I didn't have any desire to live.
When did Jesus come back into your life?
Well, I know you know that I was saved through the show. I was flipping channels one night.
I did not know
You
that.
didn't know?
No,
yes.
I didn't.
I was saved through the show. I was flipping channels one night, and I heard the PTL singers. And it sounded so good, and I stopped to listen to it. And I was about to turn the channel as soon as they finished the song.
Yes.
And Jim said, there's somebody out there who's been up, and they've had all the world has had to offer them, fame, riches, glory, everything. And now they've lost it all, and they're ready to end it all. And he was telling my story, and I couldn't turn the dial. And
it was like he was talking right to you. You
right
said,
to me. Right to me. And within about 5 minutes, I was on the floor crying my heart out to the Lord, and that's when I gave my heart to the Lord.
Oh, Cindy. PTL partners, it's you who are responsible for Cindy knowing Jesus Christ as her personal Savior. It's not Jim and Tammy. We're only here because you allow us to be. You allow us to be because you trust us with your gifts and your support to PTL. And the only way that we can stand in your city and keep PTL on strong is if you continue your support. And sometimes you might wonder, well, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And then a testimony like Cindy's comes along. How God saved her and delivered her from suicide. And how Jesus found her through Christian television. It's worth it. It's really worth it. Praise the Lord. Cindy, do you have a song? Did they ever find your tracks?
No, I don't think so.
They did. My tribute.
Oh, really? Oh,
You
praise
think
God.
you can do it?
Sure.
Okay, you just...
It's my mom's favorite song.
Is that your mom's favorite song?
Yeah,
Well, why
that's
don't
why
you
I'm
take this
singing it.
microphone, honey? Take off that one that you have on so you don't strangle yourself. See, this my show. Now, Jim's show is more polished. Mine's a little bit more laid back, and so... so Cindy's going to sing a song for us, My Tribute.
I know it's an oldie, but I consider it an oldie but goodie. In the church, this is one of my favorites and my mom's. How can I say thanks for the things he has done for me? Things so undeserved, yet you give to prove your love for me. The voices of a million angels cannot express my gratitude. All that I am and ever hope to be, I owe it all to thee. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things he has done. With his blood, he has saved me. With his power, he has raised me. To God be the glory for the things he has done. Just let me live my life. Let it be pleasing, Lord, to thee. And should I give any praise, let it go to He has saved me with his power. He has raised me to God. Be the glory for the things he has
Glory. Oh, praise the Lord. Amen. My goodness. Lady who now knows Jesus as her personal Savior because a show, a Christian television show, came into her home and told her about a God, or should we say reminded her about a Jesus who loved her more than anything in the whole wide world and wanted to be a part of her life, even though she'd forgotten him for a long, long time. Maybe some of you out there have gone through a time when you've kind of forgotten Jesus. And you've kind of forgotten how much he loves you and how much he really cares about you. No, you haven't gone too far. You haven't been too bad.
That's right.
He still loves you.